attempting to make this a little bit more square and a little less wavy. And to do that, we're starting out by pinning it to a couple of insulation boards. And the insulation boards are, just one pack I picked up at the hardware store. And what I'm using is a really long ruler because this is a really short quilt, which is helpful. And the long ruler is kind of helping me pull this into the right edging here. So I've been pulling it in a little bit as I've needed just to get it to be square. And I'm using regular pins. And then I use my quilting square to get the corners. Now this is much easier if you have a laser level that you can do the perfect corners on. But since I don't have one of those yet, it is in my budget to get one this year. I am using, my good old-fashioned quilt squares, just like I normally would here. So this enables me to just put in the pins. I'm doing about every 4 inches. If I have more pins, I can make them a little bit tighter. And then what we're going to do after we get this stinker all pinned together is we are going to spritz it with some water. And when we spritz it with the water, we'll then let it dry. And I have all sorts of dehumidifiers and all sorts of other stuff in this room to help with that, so that it'll dry relatively quickly. I'm not going to get this super saturated because I really don't want it to end up, getting moldy or anything along those lines. But we are going to use our handy dandy rulers here to make this lay flat, because you can see right now it's a little on the curvy side here. Here we go. And that's why, as you can see, my edges are a little on the wavy. So we're going to move things around and get this to behave itself. There we go. The other good news about using a ruler is that it tells you how far off you are. And I just use my fingernails to kind of pull it in a little. And there we go. Now we have the fun of making this damp. Now, I invested in one of these aerosol ones that you can hold it down and it holds the mist down a lot better, so I'm not pumping it all the time. Strongly recommend getting one of these if you don't have it. It'll save yourself a lot of heartache, at least as far as your wrist is concerned. Now I'm going to continue to dampen this. This will take me a bit, so we won't show you the whole process. But once I get everything damp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start tapping it down, okay? So that we really make sure that it forms the way we want it to form. And if we've got spots that are still sticking up and being crazy, we will just dampen them into submission. And that's what we're really aiming to do. And if you have a spot like this one that's being particularly difficult, you can always add more pins right there if you really need to press that spot down. So if you've got some spots that are really bubbly, this is where, pushing them down, it will be helpful with either more pins or more water, because water here is your friend. So we will share this hopefully tomorrow with you as to how beautifully this turned out, and hopefully we'll have a nice square quilt when we're done. Thanks everybody.